The summer sky over Perugia, Italy, glowed warmly in the first week of August. In a quiet house surrounded by the green Umbrian hills, a mother gently tucked her little daughter into bed. It was August 4th, a night that seemed like any other. But what happened in that small bedroom would soon become a story remembered far beyond that home. That night, little 3-year-old Sarah Marucci whispered something to her mother that would remain etched in her family's memory forever. Sarah was only 3, but her eyes carried a brightness and innocence that made her seem almost otherworldly. With a soft smile, she looked at her mother and said, "Tell me a story." Her mother, Anna, was tired that night. Like every parent, she had promised to read or tell stories many times, but on that evening, she whispered, "Tomorrow. My love, I'll tell you one tomorrow." She kissed Sarah on the forehead and began to leave the room, but Sarah spoke again. Her voice was calm and dreamy, like she had seen something far beyond her years. She said to her mother that she had met someone. She called her mama. Anna froze in the doorway. She turned back, confused. Sarah, tucked under her blanket with a sweet innocence, looked back at her mother and explained, "Mama is my other mother. She has blue hair and brown eyes." Anna felt her heart beat faster. Who was this Mama? No one in their family had that name. No relative, no friend, no neighbor. She asked gently, "Would you leave Mama Anna to be with Mama?" And little Sarah, without hesitation, said yes. Those words struck her mother deeply. She stood in silence, watching her daughter slowly drift into sleep, her breathing soft and steady, her face calm and innocent. That night Anna sat alone, thinking about what her daughter had just said. Her little girl, who always loved stories, had just told her something that didn't sound like a story. It sounded like a revelation. Sarah had spoken of another mother, a woman with blue hair and brown eyes. Anna didn't know it yet, but those words would be the key to understanding everything that would unfold in the days ahead. Sarah Marucci was born on December 31st, 2002. She was the second child of Anna and Michelle. From the moment she entered the world, Sarah was a source of joy. Her parents often said she was witty, playful, and full of life. Her smile filled their home with light, and her laughter could change the atmosphere of a room in an instant. She loved playing with her older brother, Daniel, and the two of them spent their days making sandcastles, playing games, and enjoying the simple joys of childhood. To her parents, she wasn't just a daughter, she was a shining light in their lives. That is why her strange words about Mama left such a deep mark on Anna. It was as if Sarah had opened the door into something her mother couldn't see or understand. She spoke of another mother with certainty, as though it wasn't imagination, but reality. The very next morning, on August 5th, the Marucci family decided to go to Stella Maris Beach. The sun was bright, the waves rolled gently, and the beach was filled with the sound of children's laughter. Everything seemed perfect. Sarah played happily in the sand with her brother. Anna tried to push away her unease about the strange words from the night before. After all, children often imagine things. Maybe Sarah was just inventing a character, like children sometimes do. But within hours, everything would change. At around 1:30 in the afternoon, Anna suddenly felt uneasy. A mother's intuition pressed upon her, as she turned to Michelle and said she wanted to check on Sarah. When she found her, her world shattered. Sarah had collapsed near a small area where video games were set up. She had accidentally touched a live electrical wire. The shock had knocked her down. Panic filled the air. Her parents rushed to help. First aid was tried. People cried out for help, but nothing worked. Minutes felt like an eternity as they begged God for a miracle, but Sarah's small body remained. Still, at just 3 years old, the little light of their lives was gone. The news spread quickly, leaving the family stunned and broken. Anna, especially, was devastated. Just the night before, her little girl had spoken about Mama, her other mother, and now, only hours later, Sarah was lying lifeless. The pain was too much to bear. Anna swore she could not look at her daughter's body again. The funeral was arranged for August 7th at the Church of San Martino. A small white coffin was prepared, a heartbreaking sight that underlined the cruel reality of a life cut short. It was during the funeral preparations that Sarah's father, Michelle, noticed something extraordinary. Behind the little white coffin was an image of the Virgin Mary. She was shown wearing a long blue veil, her kind face gazing outward. Michelle froze. His mind raced back to Sarah's words, "Mama, my other mother, with blue hair and brown eyes." Could this be who she had seen? The connection deepened when Michelle researched the name Ma. He discovered that in Copacabana, Bolivia, there is a great shrine dedicated to Our Lady of Copacabana, who is lovingly called La Virgen Morenita, or Mama Ma. Her feast day is August 5th, the very day Sarah had died. This discovery shook the family. Was it possible that Sarah had seen the Virgin Mary? Had she already been prepared for what was about to happen? For her parents, it was no coincidence. They believed Sarah had been taken into the arms of the Virgin Mary, her other mother. The church was filled with silence on the day of the funeral. The small white coffin stood at the front, surrounded by flowers and the quiet tears of family and friends. Anna sat still, her hands shaking, her eyes red from days of crying. Michelle stood close beside her, holding Daniel, who didn't fully understand why his little sister wasn't coming home again, and yet there was something in the air that was not only grief. Behind the coffin, that image of the Virgin Mary, with her blue veil, seemed almost alive, as if she was there, watching over the family. For Michelle, it was a moment that connected all the pieces. Sarah had said goodbye in her own way, pointing to a mother beyond this world, a mother who would welcome her on the other side. But the signs didn't end there. During the funeral mass, when the final prayers were being said, something unexpected happened. In the stillness of the church, a sound like a soft sigh passed through the crowd. A sudden gust of wind blew through the open windows, strong enough to make the candles flicker wildly. People turned their heads, startled, but then many began to whisper. Some said it was a sign of the presence of the Holy Spirit. Others said it was Sarah herself, letting her family know she was safe. Anna, who had promised she would not look at Sarah's body again, found herself unable to resist one last glance. And when she did, she froze. Sarah's little face looked peaceful, almost as if she were asleep. But more than that, there was a faint, sweet fragrance in the air around her. It wasn't the smell of flowers, nor of incense. It was something entirely different, something heavenly. People near the coffin noticed it too, and soon the whispers grew louder. That night, when the family returned home after the burial, something else happened that Anna would never forget. Exhausted from grief, she sat alone in her living room when she noticed a balloon. It was one of Sarah's favorite toys, a bright-colored balloon that had been left in the house. Slowly, without anyone touching it, the balloon began to move across the room. It floated gently, then suddenly rose upward, as if pulled by an invisible hand. Anna stared, trembling. The balloon moved toward the ceiling, then stopped right above Sarah's photograph, where it remained. Anna burst into tears. She felt it was Sarah's way of saying, "I am still here. I am safe. I am with Mama Ma." From that day forward, the family began to notice more signs, small, quiet, but powerful. A flower that bloomed out of season in their garden, as if planted by unseen hands. A sudden light that would shine in Sarah's room, even when the window was closed. And more than once, Anna dreamed of her little girl smiling, holding the hand of a woman with a blue veil, walking with her in peace. News of Sarah's story began to spread. Friends and neighbors who had heard about what happened started to visit the family, not only to give comfort, but to pray. Many believed that Sarah had been chosen to see the Virgin Mary before her death, and that her words about Mama Ma were a true revelation. Then something even more extraordinary began. People who prayed at Sarah's grave started reporting healings. A woman who had been struggling with an illness said she felt sudden relief after visiting Sarah's resting place. Another person claimed they had prayed for peace in their family, and within days, relationships that had been broken for years began to heal. The stories multiplied, and the family realized Sarah's short life had left behind something far greater than they could have imagined. Anna herself began to change.